With Ghostbusters Rise of the Ghost Lord releasing in just a few days, Meta brought out some new gameplay. This is the entire first level of the Ghostbusters VR game. And I'm really excited for it. And I think visually, this kind of gives me confidence in the level of quality that we can expect to receive. However, it was discovered that review copies will not be going out until the day of release, and that is worrying for any game, regardless of it being VR. However, it is especially worrying because it is VR. It is a medium that you need to get a lot right in for it to feel like it should have been a VR game. And for me, I really, really resonate with the PlayStation VR 2 community. And although I don't have one, I don't think anybody should be relegated to not have their hardware supported to its fullest. And as we saw with a recent release, Firewall Ultra, it seemed like that's kind of what happened. It didn't really launch well, but also had the same exact review embargo date of on release day, you will receive your review key, and then you'll be able to review the game. Now, that, again, in and of itself is worrying, but it's especially worrying because of the Firewall Ultra situation. Now, both of these games are published by Sony, and they are the ones that make the call on when those review copies go out. So it's not up to Endreams, it's not up to the Firewall Ultra devs to make the decision of, yeah, we want to wait until the release day before we release a, copy for review. It's up to Sony. And as far as I can tell, that's probably never going to change. If anybody was going to get a review copy, it would be Gamertag VR. He was the one that confirmed that review copies aren't going out until release day. Just last month, him and Nathy showed off a pretty lengthy piece of gameplay of the second level, as well as another later level in the game. Now, for me, I think visually, this gameplay looks phenomenal, especially being captured on a Quest 3. Obviously, the PlayStation VR 2 is going to be more powerful than this, but this is what it looks like on a Quest 3. I think it looks pretty good. Now, I want to preface and say that this gameplay is from someone that hasn't been in VR for a while. Her stream was the most entertaining, though, realistically. And I do recommend you guys going to the Meta Twitch channel and watching near the end for her stream. She did a fantastic job. She did state that she felt a little sick, but she hadn't been in VR for a while, so it's understandable. I will say not really a good look for Meta on that one, but it is what it is. Just VR in general, you don't really want to hear that on a live stream, in the middle of a showroom floor, no less. That being said, let's go ahead, get into this gameplay and kind of break down what is here and why I'm personally excited for the game, but still, again, resonate with PlayStation VR 2 owners of don't pre-order and wait a few hours after release to really see where the game goes, because my only worry is that although these early levels are very polished, the later levels that are shown off in Nathy and Gamertag VR's video on YouTube are not as polished as they probably should be at this point. So this is the first level, like I said earlier, and you are introduced to the PKE meter here, which will kind of lead you through the level and show you where you need to go, whether it's to find ectoplasm or discover a ghost that is hidden in an object. This is going to be the main tool that you use throughout the entirety of Ghostbusters Rise of the Ghost Lord to find out what the next step is. Now, just a few seconds later, we actually start seeing the ability to interact with the environment, which is super important when it comes to VR, and is probably the most important part of VR, is the immersion and believability of being able to live in the world you are playing in. And it seems like we're going to be able to interact with a lot, especially if you take a look at this clip where you see the presenter showing off as much stuff as you can pick up in just the hideout for the Ghostbusters. There is a lot here that you can interact with, and it definitely makes the game more believable. Now, since this is again the first level, this is the ghost trap. They call it a muon trap, but it is the ghost trap device, which is used in tandem with the proton pack. Now, you will see in clips like this, as well as probably later in the video, where they do throw this out while they are using the proton pack, and it works really well. You have, that secondary hand, you throw it out while you're using that proton pack to get the ghosts closer to being able to be captured with the ghost trap. Since we're on the capturing aspect of things, this is the first introduction of using the ghost trap, and it just kind of makes it super easy and makes you kind of easily introduced to how this works. And there is a jump scare, which is kind of funny. I do recommend, this is not all the footage. Go watch this stream. It was the first day of TwitchCon, Friday night. Go watch it. It's hilarious. She did a fantastic job and really, showed and sold the product in a way that helped people on the outside understand how real uh, VR is. Now, here is another interesting kind of double cutscene, if you will. This is more of like a past to present, flash forward, flash back kind of thing, which is really interesting. But again, I think that this is something that'll probably be unique to the game. I don't know if this is just going to be one mission or what, but I just wanted to point this out that it did seem interesting. It seemed like a lot of effort is actually put into the storytelling here. Now, we see the proton pack get used. It definitely has some kick on it. The presenters seem to not use two hands, and you see that kick a lot, which is fine. It is true to the source material, and it seems like the team really understood that source material. We have the proton packs that actually have that realistic kick. They also made it so that the, ghost box or, the portable containment unit actually has the effects that it would in the movie when it sucks in a ghost. It has that little tornado around it, and it does feel like they actually really went in on the source material and said, we need to get this as true as possible for this game. There's another ghost that comes out of here that looks similar to the last ones. It's red, but this is what would be considered kind of a boss. Now, you do have to get its blue kind of shield down before you can start moving it and actually fishing it into the ghost box. But again, I think that level of difficulty adds a lot and actually adds a layer of I guess gameplay as well as skill in how to take care of specific enemies, because your proton pack will overheat. And I'm not sure what happens if you cross streams with your teammates. Right after that mini boss, you release the Ghost Lord, and he seems to be fighting somebody. Not sure who that is, but it is confirmed that this is in fact the Ghost Lord who you are essentially going to need to take out. And this, I would assume, is the final boss of the game, but I don't know who this purple aura individual is, and I don't know what happens to him at the end of this because they fly through a wall, like any ghost, right through the wall. Now, here at the end, they do show off a little bit of customization. It seems like they are actually more than likely going to be presets rather than individualized customizations, but we will see on release, obviously. They then go over to this table, and this table is actually where you get your missions. This is where you select where you want to go and what the next plan is. So you will be given a mission there, and then they go over to the upgrade station. This is where you can upgrade your proton pack, and I assume both your portable containment unit or your ghost box, as well as your radar. And I don't know exactly what these upgrades are, but I do assume that with the proton pack, probably more damage or a stronger beam, something along those lines to really give you that feeling of improvement. And this will kind of be the game loop. This will be why you continually play through these missions. I do have a little bit of worry with replayability when it comes to the missions. It does look like, as she looks at this table, there are 7 buildings that are colored yellow, which I believe are going to be the 7 missions that we are able to do. The reason I believe that is if you look at Nathy's video, you notice that he is on top of a bridge, and there is a bridge in this. And she also was just at a house, which we do see the house, and after she moves on to some sort of factory. So it does appear that these are more than likely going to be the 7 missions, which hopefully will turn into more at a later date that are going to be available at launch. So overall, let me know what you all think below. My name is Butter Something. I want to thank all of you for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and remember, if you're on PSVR 2, go ahead and hold off just a little bit. It's not the end of the world if you get in a little bit late, as long as your experience is the best it can possibly be. Again, I want to thank all of you for watching. My name is Butter Something, and I'll see you in the next video.